no. And I ain't never gonna stop. Come on, listen to me. I've tried so many times to tell you this is as good as I can be. Why isn't it enough to be faithful and also be the hit of the party? Let's just break it down to you and me uptown, dancing all around till the disco ball pops. But I have to be me, and everyone can see your anger is misplaced. And I'm gonna tell you, don't hate me 'cause I get attention. Don't turn me into what I'm not. I have to be me 24/7. I ain't never gonna stop. No, 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 no. Never gonna stop. No, 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 no. Yeah, 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 yeah. I ain't never gonna stop. No, no. Oh, I ain't never gonna stop. I ain't never gonna stop now, baby. Never gonna stop now, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. I ain't never gonna stop now, baby. Ooh. Never gonna stop now, baby.
May it be when darkness falls, your heart will be true. You walk a lonely road.
You said no more. Don't tell me it's not worth trying for. You can't tell me it's not worth dying for. You know it's true. Everything inside and out and love strange, surreal in the dark. Think of the tender things that we were working on. Slow change may pull us apart when the light gets into your heartbeat.
Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome indeed to a brand new edition of the one and only Global Online Quiz. My name is Julinka. As always, it is my pleasure to be your quizmaster today. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the studio here in beautiful Eindhoven, the Netherlands, where, as you can see, it's really rather crowded. We have a whole crew in place. Katty is behind the button. She will be collecting your team photos today. We have Guido, our moderator on the chat, who will be checking to see if you're all having a good time and keeping an eye on your scores as well. He's also available for any questions you may have. Guido number 2 is behind the buttons. He's the man who'll be making sure that everything runs smoothly on the technical end of things. And as you can see, we also have 2 special guests in the studio. George and Amanda have joined us. Now, the reason for George joining us is a really, really exciting one, which I'll be sharing with you a bit later on. He's actually going to play an active part in today's quiz. And the lovely Amanda you briefly saw on the backstage cam is one of our regular participants from Canada, who's actually in the Netherlands. So she's getting a first backstage behind the scenes look at quizzing from our end, from our perspective, kind of. Also a dear friend of mine, so I hope you have fun behind the scenes, Amanda. Now, for everyone joining us from the comfort of their own home or maybe your own local pub, welcome everybody. We've got teams from Ireland in today, Canada, Tel Aviv is in the house, Israel, Malta, Belgium's in the house, Wales, Denmark, Austria, Germany. We've got some teams from the Netherlands, of course, Latvia's in the house, and so is Portugal. That's just the countries I've spotted on the chat so far. So if you haven't mentioned where you're playing from just yet, do let Guido know, and then we'll be able to share that with everyone. It's always great fun to see where everyone is playing from. For the new players out there, before we get you started, allow me to explain what you can expect from today's quiz. First and foremost, this quiz is all about the fun. You're going to be checking your own answers. You're going to be keeping score yourselves. We have an honor system going here, so we trust you to do all of that fairly. If you're lucky enough to be in a country that is not in lockdown, perhaps you have a small local competition going, such as the Dancing Camel Brewery over in Tel Aviv, who have joined the fun once again this evening. In that case, we recommend swapping answer sheets with one of the other teams so you can check each other's answers. That always greatly adds to the fun. Or maybe you even have someone in place who's checking them for you. That's also a great option. I'll let you know when it's time to swap sheets each time. If you want to share your team photos with us, that would be very much appreciated. Katty's already behind the buttons to collect them and turn them into a beautiful collage to share with you later on. So do share those with us, but more importantly, with the global quizzing community. Show us where you're playing from, who you're playing with, make it stand out. Don't forget to also share your team name, and then perhaps you will actually make it onto the show a bit later on. So the QR code and the link you see on screen here will actually allow you to do a few things. Get in touch with Katty via WhatsApp to submit those photos. You can also use this same link to submit your score at the end of the quiz, and I really hope you'll all do that. That global ranking is going to go up on our website and our socials on Monday. So even if you're rewatching this stream a bit later on Sunday or even on Monday, then you can still submit your score and have it be added to that global online ranking. Always great fun to see how everyone did on each edition. But having said all of that, we really want you to submit your scores, but we also want to hear how you are doing throughout the evening. So don't be shy. If you're logged in on the chat, do let us know how you're getting on, how many points you scored on each round. We have printable answer sheets available through our website. If you printed those out, fantastic. Now would be a great time to grab them, because in a moment I'll be taking you on to our first round of questions. And if you didn't, you definitely don't need them. Just grab any old sheet of paper, make sure you have a few of them, number them 1 to 10 from top to bottom, and you'll be equally good to go. There's only one rule for today's game, and that is an obvious one, I think. We don't allow the use of any aids other than your collective brains. So no Googling is basically what that means. We'll be playing 6 rounds of 10 questions each. Some of those rounds are mixed bag rounds. In a moment, we'll kick off with a picture round. We've also got 2 themed rounds coming your way, and we're going to finish, as we always do, on music. We'll have some breaks, of course, to allow you to grab a fresh drink, do what you need to do. We'll have one after round 2 and another one after round 4 has been played. If at any point during today's quiz you hear a bit of background music that you believe is not part of the official program, that's quite possible. There is a really loud party going on 2 floors below us in the same building. It sounds like great fun. We might go check it out after the show, but I hope it doesn't bother you guys too much. If so, do let us know on the chat and we'll see what we can adjust on the buttons here, which is probably not a great deal. So I hope you're not hearing too much of the racket down there. Time to get you cracking on round 1. Our picture round is coming your way. This is the round where I just explain what's going to be happening and then I leave you to it. We think it's a great way to ease you into the whole quizzing thing. And the theme for this week's picture round is gates and arches. Famous gates and arches in different locations all around the globe. So in a moment, you'll see 10 photographs, or in some cases, it's a collection of photographs even, of a gate or an arch. And of course, we want to know where that particular gate or arch can be found. The country will do nicely. You don't have to get any more specific than that. So identify the 10 countries that are home to these rather famous gates and arches. Also, don't panic if you don't get them the first time round. We'll be repeating each photograph. So you see them for 15 seconds on end. It automatically rolls on to the next one after that. And when you've seen them all twice, it will even go into little miniatures, allowing you to finalize your answers. So best of luck. Let's see if you can guess all 10 of our countries, and I will see you on the other end. And welcome back. So that concludes our first round, the picture round. Let's find out how many points you managed to score. Time to swap sheets if you're in a local competition, or whip out that red pen and start marking your own sheet if it's just you playing from the comfort of your own home. Answers for round one, starting with this lovely, rather impressive looking gate. It's the Brandenburger Tor, and this one is in Berlin, Germany. Germany for the first point. On to number two, which was the Arch of Constantine. For this one, you have to travel to Italy. It's in Roma for number two. Next up, we traveled to a different continent altogether. We went to Asia, to India, no less. This is New Delhi we are visiting here, and this is India Gate for number three. Number four, Paifang, the Summer Palace in Beijing is where you have to travel to visit this gateway here. So China for the next point on number four. And number five, maybe if you saw that red thing in the corner in one of those photographs, that was a little clue for you there. This is the Marble Arch, and it is in London, that red thingy being a double-decker bus. whizzing past. For number 6, we asked you for the country where this rather famous arch can be found. I don't think this was the trickiest one in the bunch per se. This is Paris, France, for the Arc de Triomphe. Number 7, Il-Jumun. Il-Jumun is actually the first gate at the entrance to many Korean Buddhist temples, called One Pillar Gate because when viewed from the side, they appear to be supported by a single pillar, actually. So Il-Jumun, different types of gates resembling this one in South Korea for number 7. Number 8, we visited the Alcazar Moorish Palace in beautiful Sevilla in Spain. Spain for the point on number 8. Number 9 showed us a so-called tori, and tori are the entrances to Shinto shrines in Japan. So Japan was the correct answer for number 9, again for 1 point, of course. And finally, we visited beautiful Arches National Park, and if you ever want to go there, you have to travel to the United States of America. So the USA for that final point. In the meantime, we've also been joined by a team from the US and also by teams from Greece, Ukraine, Romania, Czech Republic, Croatia's in the house, and Guernsey has also joined the fun. Hope you're having a great time so far, and I'm curious to find out how you did on that picture round. I'll give you a minute to calculate your score now, and do share it with us on the chat as well. As soon as that minute's up, I'll take you straight on to our first mixed bag round. On to round number 2 we go, and on the chat here I'm seeing that actually for most teams this was a pretty good round. Samantha got 4 out of 10, never fear, I'm sure you'll do much better on our next round, and still 4 out of 10 isn't really that much of a disaster, is it? We've also got 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, even 9, and perfect 10s out of 10 showing up on the chat here. Michael even got 11 out of 10. Well done, Michael. Do let me know how you managed to pull that off. Now, on to round 2 we go, our mixed bag round. The first one, we've got a couple of those coming your way today. And of course, our regulars know that it is a long-standing global online quizzing tradition that we kick off the mixed bag round with a Fun with Flags question. So here we go. Question 1, Fun with Flags it is, and Fun with Flags we shall have if you can tell me which flag is missing from this sequence we see up on screen here. So this is a logical sequence of flags representing certain countries from left to right. If you can figure out what they have in common in this particular order, then perhaps you can also tell me which flag should go in the place of that question mark. On to number 2 we go. For this one, I'm in search of the name of a city, not just any old city. This particular city will become the first to host both Summer and Winter Olympics. Some of the same venues are actually going to be used, though for slightly different sports. So clever recycling they're doing there. So which city is set to become the first ever to host both Summer and Winter Olympic Games? On to question 3 we go. Also a long-standing tradition that we have a few picture connections, and this happens to be our first one here now. So take a good look at everything and everyone you see on screen here and tell me the one word or single name connecting all of these images. So what single word or name connects all of the photographs we see on screen here? On to a food and drink question we go for number 4. As the days are getting shorter and the temperatures are dropping, at least they certainly are here in the Netherlands, stew suddenly seems like an excellent dish to put on your menu. We've traveled the globe and we've brought you back 4 rather famous bowls of stew that can clearly be traced back to a single country of origin. So I'm showing you pictures of each dish, but I will also give you the proper name for each one. What I would like in return for half a point each is the country of origin for each dish. So can you name the country of origin for A, ropa vieja, B, massaman curry, C, chicken paprikash or paprikash cirke, and D is lovely, lovely gumbo. So 4 dishes, 4 bowls of stew are in front of us. Can you tell me the country of origin for each one? On to number 5 we go now. For this one, I want to discuss with you the Sakharov Prize for Freedom of Thought, commonly known as the Sakharov Prize. It's an honorary award for individuals or groups who've dedicated their lives to the defense of human rights and freedom of thought. Who is its most recent recipient? So the Sakharov Prize, an honorary award for individuals and sometimes also awarded to groups who've dedicated their life to the defense of human rights and freedom of thought. And I want to know who is the most recent recipient of this award. On to something completely different for question 6. For this one, I'd love to know what is the English name of the first game that was played by the contestants on the popular show Squid Game. And I'll tell you this, it's known as 1, 2, 3 Ochs am Berg in Germany. It's Anna-Maria Koekoek here in the Netherlands. It's Batatinha Frita 2, 3 in Brazil. And it's Cucurcava Limonada Chai Rum Boom in the Czech Republic. But what is the English name of that first game that was played on the popular show Squid Game? And on to question 7 we go. And while it is definitely a question on the topic of birds, it's definitely not one on the topic of this little guy here. My question to you is this: what are the 3 tallest birds in the world? So I'm sure we can safely rule out this little guy over here. Not even sure what species it belongs to. It is awfully cute, which is why it got selected for the purposes of question 7. But can you tell me the names of the 3 tallest birds in the world? They are worth half point each on number 7. On to a question on the topic of museums for number 8. The museum I am in search of opened its first permanent exhibition location in 1952 in New York. But since the end of the 20th century, the museum has been branching out. They've got several new locations all over the world, including one that opened in Bilbao, Spain in 1997. And one of the newer ones is about to open in Abu Dhabi, scheduled to open in 2025. So a bit of a wait still. Both of these buildings are designed by Frank Gehry. Can you name the museum in question? So it first opened a permanent exhibition location in 1952 in New York, and has since added quite a few locations. They've branched out, including the one in Bilbao and one scheduled to open in Abu Dhabi. For question number 9, we've zoomed in on some world-famous buildings and landmarks, and I am in search of the location for each one. So, of course, first you'll have to figure out, based on these close-ups, which building or landmark we're looking at, and then please tell me in which country can each one be found. So identify the 4 countries for half a point each. On to question 10 we go, our final one, and it's a video one we're going to finish this round on. In a moment, you'll see 3 short clips. In this particular case, let me see, one is movie related, but the other 2 are music this time round. I'm looking for something to logically connect them all. So that could be in song titles, in band names, in movie titles. Take a few notes and see if that connection pops out at you. Here we go.
Life is just a party, party's worth it to last. War! So if I gotta die, I'm gonna listen to my body tonight.
Open the pod bay doors, please, Hal.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What are you talking about, Hal?
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
Oh, you buy your friend like chocolate. You say to me, go, and nobody know. We're gone sitting under our petticoat. No, we're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no. No one run away from the boys in the blue. Oh, my car smells like chocolate.
And just like that, you made it through your first mixed bag round for today's quiz. We'll give you a bit more time to finalize those answers, 90 more seconds. Use them wisely, and I'll be right back to provide you with the correct answers. You could have earned 12.5 points on this round. And maybe, just maybe, we'll also have a look at some team photos. Okie dokie, that's all the time you get for round number 2, which means it's time to swap seats if you're in a local competition. As you can see, 12.5 points were up for grabs. Swap in time now, because here we go with answers for round number 2. First up, we asked you which flag was missing from the sequence. And what these flags have in common is that they are the flags of the largest countries in the world. This is the one that was missing. We showed you Russia, Canada, China, then the gap, and then Brazil and the US was missing from that logical sequence for 1 point. For number 2, the city that will become the first to have hosted both Summer and Winter Olympic Games, next year in fact, is Beijing. Beijing, China, for 1 point on number 2. Number 3, the single word or name connecting all of those photos we showed you. Here we have them one more time. We see a bookcase, but it's not just any old bookcase. This is a rather iconic IKEA bookcase by the name of Billy. We also see Billy the Kid, Billy Crystal, and Billy Idol. So Billy's all round for 1 point on number 3. Number 4, we had some lovely stew, but we wanted to know where is said stew from. The first one, ropa vieja, is from Cuba. Massaman curry is from Thailand. Chicken paprikash, or I'm going to mess this up again, Kathy. Help me out. Paprikash. Chirke, paprikash chirke from beautiful Hungary, much like the beautiful Kathy here in the studio. And finally, we had some tasty gumbo, which is from the United States. The Sakharov Prize went to whom? Who was the most recent recipient? Here we see him now. Alexei Navalny, the Russian opposition leader who's currently serving a prison sentence in a corrective labor camp. No fun to be had there. So I hope the reward is some comfort to him. For number 6, the English name of that game that's known as 1, 2, 3 Ochs am Berg in Germany, Anna-Maria Koekoek in the Netherlands, Batatinha Frita 1, 2, 3 in Brazil, and Cucarcava Limonada Chai Rum Bum in the Czech Republic. And I'm dying to find out what your local name is for this game. In English, the game is known as Red Light, Green Light. Red Light, Green Light for 1 point. And if you could share with me on the chat what your local name is for this children's game, I am very, very interested in learning some more names for it. For number 7, the tallest birds in the world. The top 3 is made up of the ostrich on number 1, the emu, and also the cassowary is one of the tallest birds in the world. Perhaps also the trickiest one in the bunch, I imagine. Half a point each on those. For number 8, the Mystery Museum was the one and only Guggenheim. Guggenheim for 1 point on number 8. Number 9, we showed you some close-ups, and here we've zoomed out so you can see them in all their glory. First up, we traveled to Italy, the Pantheon in Rome. Mount Rushmore, of course, in the United States. There's actually a lot of US questions just sort of found their way into this round, I noticed. We're in Spain with a beautiful building in Barcelona by Antonio Gaudi. And finally, we traveled to India for that Lotus Temple. So that was not Sydney Opera House. This is the Lotus Temple. And it can be found in New Delhi. Finally, for number 10, we asked you for that connection. And that was a connection between those 3 short videos we showed you. And they were a song by Prince, you'll remember, and that song is 1999. We also had 2001, A Space Odyssey for that movie scene we saw. And finally, that song Chocolate is by the band The 1975. So our connection was they all had a year hiding in them somewhere. Years for 1 point on number 10, making for that grand total of 12.5 you could have earned. So jot up your score, please, and let me know on the chat how many points you managed to score. Before we go into the break, I'll briefly return because we have some really nice team photos to share with you. Okay, I'm seeing some pretty nice results once again. I've even seen, wow, Alexander, 12.5 out of 12.5. Perfect score on this round. Monica got really close as well with 12 points. And I'm also seeing some lovely translations of red light, green light. In Belgium, in Flanders anyway, it's 1, 2, 3, piano, they say. And in Danish, they say green light, go, red light, stand. Okay, that's very to the point, I suppose. I saw an Italian one here somewhere as well. Un, due, tre, stelle in Italian. Okay, nice. Do keep them coming. We can always pick this back up after the break. But for now, it is time to have a look at some lovely team photos. Kathy's been hard at work collecting them. Let's have a look at the first team photo that was submitted. And this is a really good one. Look at this. We have a whole group of international librarians. I understand there's like 10 nationalities in this one photograph. Human Library joining us from Poland today. Thank you so much for submitting that awesome team photo. It looks like you're having a great time. And of course, I suspect that you will be doing rather well on today's quiz. I also have a literature question coming your way a bit later on. On to our next team photo we go. Who do we have here? It's Dictionary Corner, sort of staying on a similar topic here in Serbia. Serbia. Really cool team photo. Thank you guys so much for sharing it with us. On to the next picture we go now, and this is Why Crabs Why. And look, they have a brand new team member who's even wearing an adorable little crab's outfit. Welcome on the show, guys, and thank you so much for sharing your newest addition to the team. Mostly serving as a mascot, I suspect, but I'm sure there's a bright future in the wonderful world of quizzing ahead of said mascot. On to our next team we go, and that is not one but two teams we see here. The Quizzards are joining us from Romania, and look at all of those pictures of me they have. Goodness gracious. Thank you, guys. Very creative. Wow. And Team Homik has joined us once again from Estonia. Hope you're all having a great time, and thank you so much for that little peek into your living rooms you've allowed us. So we do have time for another batch of team photos a bit later on, so perhaps you can use the break that is coming your way right now to take a cool team picture and share it with Kathy through WhatsApp. We'll have the link up on screen for you, so that will be easy to do. 6-minute break coming your way now. We will return with another mixed bag round, and I also have a themed round, which I'm very excited about, coming your way after the break. So see you in 6. Hello and welcome back, everybody. Time for part 2 of the quiz. And before we take you on to our next round, round number 3, which is a special themed round coming your way, I'd like to take a moment, as I always do, to explain to our new players why we ask you for a contribution during this quiz. But before I do that, thank you so much to everyone who's already chipped in this evening and during all of our previous events. It is very much appreciated because we really can't do this without you. So thank you. It means a lot. For the new players out there, this link takes you, as explained before, to a page that allows you to do a few things. Get in touch with the lovely Cathy for team pictures, submit your score at the end of the game, and to make a contribution if you find yourself enjoying this quiz and want us to keep making more of them for you. So in the real world, shall we say, during live quizzes, it's quite customary to pay a small fee to actually join the quizzing fun. It could be a few euros, dollars, or whatever your local currency is. And we are hoping that if you find yourself enjoying this quiz and you want more of them from us, that you'll also be willing to chip in out here in the digital realm. So maybe you can consider a 3 or 4 euro contribution per team member, and if you could combine those when submitting, that would be amazing because that saves us a lot in transaction fees. And of course, on your end, sending each other payment requests, especially in Europe, is so easy nowadays and doesn't cost you a dime. So if you would consider that, it would be greatly appreciated. And now, without further ado, let me take you on to round 3. For this round, I have a mystery theme coming your way. That means there is a very clear theme to this round, but I won't tell you what it is. Just keep it in mind, because as soon as you figured out what it could possibly be, I have a sneaky feeling that could help you make some decisions on questions that you might still be in doubt on. If you have 2 answers in mind, for example, then figuring out the connection will probably help you narrow it down to 1 in most cases. So keep in mind that we have that mystery theme. And now here comes your first question. With a population of over 3.4 million people in the city proper, what is the largest city to be found in Morocco? So in Morocco, with a population of over 3.4 million within that city proper, what is the largest city in that country? On to question number 2 about this man on screen here, Mozart. But his name was not just Mozart. I'm interested in his middle name for the purposes of question 2. What was Mozart's most commonly used middle name? For number 3, we've thrown in a bonus picture connection today. So you don't get 2 like you normally do. You also get 1 as part of this themed round here. 4 seemingly unrelated images, and yet again, there is a single word or single name connecting them all. Can you figure out what that might be? On to number 4 we go. For this one, I'm in search of the name of a famous ship. It's a ship from Greek mythology, and it was used by Jason and the Argonauts in their quest to retrieve the Golden Fleece. So a ship from Greek mythology built by the gods and famously used by Jason and the Argonauts. Name that ship. Onto the Roman Empire for the purposes of question 5. In that Roman Empire, Hoplomachus, Mormillo, Bestiarius, and Retiarius were different types of what? So in the Roman Empire, a Hoplomachus, but also a Mormillo, a Bestiarius, and a Retiarius were all different types of what? On to number 6, on to an audio question we've prepared for you. In a moment, I'm about to play you 3 short clips. This time it's audio only. They're all clips from hit songs from various eras, I dare say. And I'm looking for a single word to connect them, just like with those pictures we did earlier on in the round. This time it's audio, and there's a one-word connection to be found. Here comes your first clip now.
There's a magical feeling so right. It will steal your heart tonight. You can try to resist, try to hide from my kiss, but you know that
Okay, now if you keep singing, you may have an idea about which song that was already. On to the next clip we go, take a few notes, and then at the end I'll give you some time to debate all of that with your teammates, of course. Clip 2. Very beautiful and very different from that first one, I think. And here comes the final one, hopefully the one to tie it all together for you. Clip 3.
We get it almost every night. When that moon is big and bright, it's a supernatural delight.
And that's all you get to work with. So again, a single word to connect all of the clips you just heard. I'll give you a bit more time to discuss that with your team and to write down your answer. And on to number 7 we go. For this one, I'm in search of the name given to an organism that lives in, on or inside another organism, which is then known as the host, causing it some harm, and it's adapted structurally to that way of life. What would we call such an organism? Examples are plants such as mistletoe and hookworms and mosquitoes, to name but a few. So identify the name given to an organism living on or inside another organism. On to number 8 and a question on the topic of ABBA. The band ABBA released an album and also a very successful song entitled Super Trooper. And Super Trooper is actually a brand name of something. Of what is my question to you? So ABBA released that album Super Trooper. It was also a very successful song off of that album. But what is a Super Trooper? It is a brand of what? For question number 9, I would like to introduce you to this adorable family. Their father hiding behind that blue bubble there. This is Poppy Honey Rosie, Daisy Boo Pamela, Petal Blossom Rainbow, Buddy Bear Maurice, and also River Rocket Blue Dallas can be spotted in this photograph. These children have their mom Jules, who we see here, and their famous father to thank for their rather interesting names. What is their last name is my question to you. So what is the last name of Poppy Honey Rosie, Daisy Boo Pamela, Petal Blossom Rainbow, Buddy Bear Maurice, and River Rocket Blue Dallas? On to our final question we go for number 10. The wreck of which ship was discovered in 1985 by a Franco-American expedition sponsored by the United States Navy. She lies at a depth of about 12,500 feet or 3.8 kilometers, about 370 miles, which equals 600 kilometers southeast off the coast of Newfoundland. So the wreck of this ship was discovered back in 1985. Can you give me her name? And that is it for round number 3. I hope you have figured out the mystery theme and were able to use it to your advantage. We'll give you 90 more seconds to finalize, and then I'll come back and reveal what our answers should have been. All right, welcome back, everyone. Time to swap sheets. If you are in a local competition, here we go with answers for round 3. First up, we asked you for the largest city in Morocco by population, and that is beautiful Casablanca. Casablanca. Number 2, Mozart's most commonly used middle name. He's got a couple of them, but the most famous one was Amadeus. Amadeus, Amadeus. On to number 3, the picture connection, a bonus one. I've got another one coming up a bit later on. This is Rocky Marciano we see in the top left corner here. We also see the Rocky Mountains, ASAP Rocky, and finally the Rocky Horror Picture Show, one of my personal favorites, Rockies all around, and Rocky was worth 1 point on number 3. And you see there is a reason I'm using all these film stills here. The connection for this round was that each of our answers was also an Academy Award winning film with a single word title. So that's, if you figured that out, that should have narrowed it down rather nicely. That famous ship I was in search of is the Argo. Argo also being a beautiful film, well worth a watch. Number 5, Hoplomachus, Murmillo, Bestiarius, and Retiarius were different types of gladiator, and that also happens to be a very successful film. Gladiator for 1 point on number 5. The single word connecting the songs we played for you. We played Leanne Rimes' Can't Fight the Moonlight. We also had Dancing in the Moonlight. And finally, Moonlight Sonata was in the middle there. Bit of Beethoven for you. Moonlight all around, and also a really nice film for number 6. Number 7, the South Korean movie that won an Oscar. Parasite, which was, of course, the name of that organism I was in search of. And for number 8, ABBA released the album Super Trooper, a very popular album. But what is a Super Trooper? It is the registered trademark of a series of follow spotlights, which are used in stadiums, in concerts, and special event lighting. Spotlight also being another very nice film. There's a reason all of these movies won Academy Awards. For number 9, these mystery children are all the kids of Jamie Oliver, Jamie Oliver's children, and thus their last name is Oliver, much like this film, which won an Academy Award in the, I think it was the 50s? 60s? 60s, okay. Was settling on 60s, Guido. I trust you. For number 10, it was yet another Academy Award-winning movie, Titanic, for the shipwreck that was discovered in 1985. So these 10 movie titles could have earned you 10 points on round number 3, and I, for one, am dying to find out how many of those you managed to score. We'll give you 60 seconds now to calculate your score and share it with us if you can on the chat. Then I'll take you on to our final mixed bag round after that. Wow, you guys, I'm seeing multiple 10 out of 10s here. I'm seeing 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. So far, it was a really nice round for many of our teams. Let's take you on to our next mixed bag round now. 12.5 points up for grabs on this one once more. And it's a bit of a puzzle I'd like you to solve with me on our first question here. It's to do with this gentleman, comedian Bob Hope. As Bob Hope lay on his deathbed back in 2003, his wife Dolores asked him where he'd like to be buried. And being the comedian he was, he had an interesting reply, shall we say, ready for Dolores. My question to you is, what was Bob Hope's 2-word reply to that question? Where would you like to be buried after you are gone? We'll turn it into a bit of a puzzle, a Bob Hope puzzle. So here. You get a few letters to work with. We've turned it into a bit of a Scrabble thing here. They're in the correct order, though, so use that to your advantage. What did Bob Hope reply? Is my question to you for number 1. On to question 2 we go. For this one, a few people actually, got very, very creative indeed with minifigs. The internet is a fabulous place, isn't it? So we did not create these. We found them online. People got creative with Lego and with minifigs, and they recreated rather iconic scenes from different movies. Can you identify the film to match each of these Lego recreations? So identify the 4 movies if you can. Half a point each. For number 3, let's go to the final picture connection I have lined up for you. So you know the drill by now, surely. 4 seemingly unrelated images, and yet, once again, there is a single word to connect them all. For 1 point, can you figure out what we need on number 3? On to number 4, on to another audio clip. Just 1 clip, no connection. This time around, I am in search of something else entirely. You're about to hear a short snippet from the song Soup for One by disco band Chic. And it was sampled in a worldwide hit in the year 2000 by the French dance act Mojo. Can you give me the title of that song? So I'll play you a short clip now from Soup for One by Chic, and let's see if you can remember which worldwide hit from the year 2000 that bit was sampled in. Okay, so that's it. Soup for One. But can you name that song from the year 2000? Is the $1 million question, or in this case, the 1 point question. For question 5, we've lined up not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 fictional dogs, and I am in search of their names. Again, half a point each, so you can earn 2 points if you manage to identify all 4 of these lovable pooches correctly. On to number 6. We travel into space for this one. Can you tell me what is the name of the largest moon of Saturn? It was the 6th moon in the solar system to be discovered by astronomer Christian Huygens back in 1655. For the first couple of centuries, it didn't even have a name. It was only in 1847 that British astronomer John Herschel gave the moon its current name, as all Saturnian moons were given mythological names at that time. So it is something that can be traced back to mythology. What is the name of Saturn's largest moon? On to a bit of history we go for question number 7. In a moment, I'm going to show you a portrait, and this is a portrait of a man who's been described as the most powerful and enthusiastic patron of Renaissance culture in Italy. He was a 15th century ruler of the Florentine Republic and had artists such as Botticelli, Michelangelo, and Da Vinci working at his court. Here we have him now. Although he didn't commission many of those works of art himself, he helped these artists commission from other patrons and thus was rather instrumental in their success. Can you tell me his name? So this 15th century ruler of the Florentine Republic. On to literature we go for question number 8. Librarians, we're counting on you. Can you give me the name of the river hiding in each of the following book titles? So we've replaced each river by a question mark. Let's see if you can't remedy that. A is Agatha Christie, Death on the something. Next up, Mark Twain, Life on the something. And last but not least, Pierre Boulle, The Bridge on the River something. Half a point each for the 3 rivers missing from these book titles. On to number 9. Let's discuss the Formula One World Championship. It's kind of heating up with the battle between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. This weekend, the Mexican Grand Prix will be held. And after that race, only 4 more races are left on the 2021 calendar. And 2 out of those 4 are being held for the first time ever. Both of them in the Middle East. Can you tell me the names of those 2 races, or rather the locations where they will be held? So 2 out of those remaining 4 races will be held for the first time ever, and both in the Middle East as well. Which 2 races? Another long-standing global online quizzing tradition is that we end round 4 on a bit of virtual travel. In a moment, we're going to view a video that is going to have us fly around a certain country within 40 seconds. So pay close attention to all of the locations we'll be visiting and see if you can figure out which country we are making a quick fly-through of in the next video. And that is a wrap on our second and final mixed bag round. We have 2 more really cool rounds coming your way after the break. For now, though, I'll let you finalize this one. Then we'll have a peek at the answers, and I understand that we also have some more cool team photos coming your way soon. Okay, round 4. It's time to swap sheets. If you're in a local competition, here we go with answers to that final mixed bag for today's quiz. Bob Hope, as he lay on his deathbed, his wife Dolores asked, "Where would you like to be buried, Bob?" And what was the man's reply in typical Bob Hope fashion? He said, "Surprise me. Surprise me." So I wonder if many of you figured that out. I certainly thought that was a rather clever comeback. For number 2, the iconic movie scenes in Lego. Name the film to match each one. The first one was a rather iconic scene from The Shining. Here we have it. Next up, American Beauty in Lego. We also had Back to the Future. And finally, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon in Lego. Number 3, the connection between those 4 images we showed you. We see little Blue Ivy Carter, Beyonce's daughter. We see bottom right there is Blue Origin. We also see Blue Steel from Zoolander. And finally, the band Blue is in the top right corner. So Blue all around on number 3 for 1 point. Number 4, that short snippet from Chic's Soup for One was rather iconically sampled in a worldwide hit in the year 2000, and that song was Lady, Lady, Hear Me Tonight by Mojo. But if you just put Lady, that's fine. The rest was in brackets of that title, so Lady will earn you the point. Number 5, the fictional doggos for half a point each. They were Astro, the space mutt, Gromit made an appearance, Snowy is the English name of this doggy from Tintin. In the Netherlands, we call him Bobby. In France, he's known as Milou. So feel free to research your local name and award yourselves the points for whatever Snowy is known as in your country. And finally, Brian. Brian Griffin earned you the final half a point here from Family Guy. Number 6, the mystery moon for 1 point was Titan. Titan, rather fitting name for the largest moon of Saturn. And for number 7, we were in search of the name of this man. This is Lorenzo de' Medici. Lorenzo de' Medici for 1 point. Number 8, the river hiding in each of those book titles. First up, Agatha Christie's Death on the Nile, that was. Next up, Mark Twain. Even if you didn't know this, you might have guessed that it is Life on the Mississippi. And finally, Pierre Boulle's The Bridge on the River Kwai, which was also turned into a rather famous film of the same title. For number 8. Number 9, the Formula One World Championship. We were looking for those 2 new locations that remain on the calendar, and they are, for half a point each, the Qatar Grand Prix and also the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix is a new one. Half a point each on those. Finally, our mystery country, we visited some beautiful locations. We visited the city of Marseille, also Mont Saint-Michel, which we see here. And finally, Versailles was also included. And these are all rather famous locations in beautiful France for 1 point, making for a grand total of 12.5. So I'll give you a minute now to calculate that score. Do let me know on the chat how many points your team earned. Then before we go into the break, from which we will return with something really rather special I have coming your way, we're also going to have a look at some team photos in a moment. Okay, I've not seen too many results just yet on the chat, but the ones I do see rolling in are rather high once again. Michael's team scored 10. Monica's even got 11.5 this round. Well done, you guys. So did Graham. Flo got 9. That's still pretty solid score, you guys. Another good round. Now, before that well-earned break, let's have a look at a few more wonderful team photos Katy has collected. We received so many, so thank you so much to everyone who submitted. We had to make a selection. We can't show them all, but let's have a look at the pictures Katy has selected for us. First up, we have Speedway Wrocław playing from Poland today. Thank you for this little peek into your living room. Hope you guys are having a great time. Next team is, oh, we know this one. Rio Rules are back playing from the UK and from Brazil, and I'm very much digging that jack-o'-lantern there. Very cool. You guys are always so creative with the team photos. On to the next team we go, and this is a team that has rather fittingly dubbed itself the Beauties, and do notice the little beauty in the middle there. And this one is playing their second quiz. We are digging all the adorable baby mascots, guys. Thank you so much for this fancy team photo. On to our next team we go. This is Fast, but they are not furious, and they do have an adorable mascot as well of the doggy variety for a change. Thank you so much for submitting this team photo, and I also hope you guys are having a great time. Any more photos? Yes, of course. We had to have Team FTL joining us from the US, Pakistan, the UK, Belgium, and the Ukraine as well. And I think, I almost forgot. We have one more beautiful collection of photos. We have the Dancing Camel Brewery from Israel back in the house. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. And we have that Canadian lost in Eindhoven who is sitting not too far from here, actually. How you doing up there, Amanda? Fantastic, she says. Well, I'm very happy to hear that. It's a bit of an interesting perspective on the whole quizzing thing behind the scenes. So if you guys are ever in Eindhoven, Rio Rules, if you're ever in town, do let us know. Perhaps we can also provide you with a behind the scenes look. Now, high time that we take another break. We're going to do a bit of flexing here because there's something really interesting about to happen for part 3 of the quiz. Let us just say that I shall not necessarily be hosting that part of the quiz. That's a big clue for you right there. So, 6 minutes coming your way. Use them wisely. Do a bit of light stretching. Refill those drinks. And we'll see you in 6 minutes from now with part 3 of the quiz. Hello, 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 and welcome back, everybody. We are still very much fired up here behind the scenes. And as you may see on our backstage cam here, something has changed. Someone is sitting next to me behind that picture, which Guido has quickly removed. Ta-ta! That was actually a very nice reveal.
I liked it.
Hi, everyone. I would like to introduce you to my dear friend, George, who has joined us in the studio for a very special reason. He will be hosting the next 2 rounds for you. George is a dear friend of mine. He is from the United States of America, but he's been living in the Netherlands for quite a few years now. How many, George?
Almost 9.
Almost 9.
Almost 9.
Goodness gracious, you could do this thing in Dutch, I bet you.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay, well, I think most of our fans agree with that, so let's keep it in English. George is actually one of our regular hosts for the Eindhoven International Quiz Nights. And I, for one, am super excited that he has offered to also be my stand-in for this quiz, because that's great news for me, but also for you. Imagine something happens to me or I can't make quiz for some reason, and this lovely man is going to have your backs. He's going to make sure that we can keep the show going, which is why we wanted to properly introduce you to George through today's quiz. So you're a host for our International Quiz Night. You've hosted so many of them already, I think.
Quite a few,
yeah. I've lost count. Tell me, what's your favorite thing about the Eindhoven International Quiz Night?
Yeah, I think the most important thing, my favorite thing about the International Quiz Night is the friends that I've met. These are people that I would have never met, on the street, walking around. So I've made really great connections, really new bonds. Of course, you and I met through the International Quiz Night and flourished into me sitting here now, so...
And I'm so glad that you are, George. So yeah, George is also referring to our meetup area, which is also my personal favorite part of that International Quiz Night we host. We always make sure that there's an area where everyone can just walk in on their own and we match them up with the team. And that is how I and George and so many other people have met friends, and gosh, we've even had marriages from this area. We've even had quiz babies, so it really is something. So I very much agree with that assessment. Right, guys, so I'm going to yield the floor to George now. I'm leaving you in some very capable hands, I'm certain of that. And I'm a little bit jealous also, George, because I'm leaving you with my favorite round to host.
Yeah, it's quite an honor to take this round over from you, but I will do my best to make you proud.
Oh, I have no doubt that you will. Everybody have a great time with George, and I'll quickly pop back around the corner at the end of the quiz. I'm now going to try to make a subtle exit, which is very hard because I'm hooked up to a whole bunch of wires here. Bye!
Thanks, Jelinka, and while she scoots off, I'm going to scoot over a little bit more so you can see, and we continue on with this quiz. Now, like Jelinka said, I will be hosting round number 5, and round number 5 is a fan favorite, my favorite, Jelinka's favorite. That is the answer smash. So, for those of you that are new, allow me to explain how this round works. Each of these questions actually have 2 parts to them. So a fun thing is, these 2 parts have a single overlapping word in the middle. Once you glue them together, it turns them into a new and improved answer, and we call that the answer smash. If you're confused, don't worry. We have a great example for you to begin with. So, for example, we have an Italian car brand in 1990 from Milan meets a 1986 film starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes. So you take the first part of that, the answer is Alfa Romeo, and the second answer to that question, which is Romeo and Juliet, and we get our answer smash, which is Alfa Romeo and Juliet. That's all there is to it. Not too hard, hopefully, but we have 10 questions for you to practice. Let's get going with question number 1 of round 5, the answer smash. Question 1, we start with the name of a famous Roman general and statesman assassinated in 44 BC. This person meets a green salad of romaine lettuce and croutons dressed with lemon juice, olive oil, egg, Worcester sauce, anchovies, garlic, Dijon mustard, Parmesan cheese, and black pepper. So take the first part, the name of the famous general, and smash that together with the green salad of romaine lettuce, and you will have your answer to number 1. Question number 2. We take the name of the third heaviest of the African big 5 animals and take that name of that creature and smash it with the stage name of William Cody, a legendary soldier and showman of the American Old West. So take the name of the third heaviest of the big 5 African animals and smash that together with the stage name of William Cody, and you have the answer smashed for question 2. Question number 3. The American former professional boxer nicknamed Iron Mike meets the British professional boxer nicknamed the Gypsy King to form answer smash number 3. So take the name of the former professional boxer nicknamed Iron Mike and smash that together with the boxer nicknamed the Gypsy King, and you will have answer number 3. On to question number 4. We're looking for the nickname which German World War II General Erwin Rommel earned himself while leading the German and Italian forces in the North African campaign. That nickname meets an American conservative cable news television channel based in New York City, created by Rupert Murdoch. So take the nickname of the German World War II general and smash that together with the American conservative cable news television channel, and you have your answer for number 4. Question number 5. We want you to take the way that many languages, including English, write out how Santa laughs, meets the city formerly and still commonly known as Saigon. So take the way that we write out how Santa Claus laughs and smash that together with the city formerly and still commonly known as Saigon for answer number 5. Question number 6, we start with a 1983 platform game developed for arcades by Nintendo, in which an Italian plumber and his twin brother exterminate creatures emerging from the sewers. Take that and smash it with a 19th century German duo who were among the first and best known collectors of German and European folklores and fairy tales. So take the first part of a 1983 platform game with twin brothers, smash that together with the 19th century German duo who's known for their folk tales and fairy lores, and you have the answer for question number 6. Question number 7. We kick off with the name of a best-selling Bon Jovi album from 1986. The album featured the hit singles You Give Love a Bad Name, Livin' on a Prayer, and Wanted Dead or Alive. This album meets the name of the Scottish band that had a worldwide hit in 1994 with a cover of the Trog song Love Is All Around. So take the first part, the name of the best-selling Bon Jovi album from 1986, and smash that together with the name of the Scottish band that had a worldwide hit in 1994, and you have the answer for number 7. For question number 8, we start with the name of the only female rapper to achieve a diamond certified song by the RIAA with Bodak Yellow. Take her name and smash it together with the second rarest of the 8 blood types. So take the first female rapper to achieve the diamond certified song by the RIAA and smash that together with the second rarest of the 8 blood types, and you have the answer smash for question 8. Two more questions to go. Question number 9. We're looking for the name of an island and self-governing British Crown dependency in the Irish Sea, famous for its tailless cats. Take this island and slam it together with a 1999 hit song by Shania Twain. So take the name of the island in the Irish Sea, smash it together with the 1999 hit song by Shania Twain, and you have the answer for question 9. Now for our final smash, question 10, we start with Wham's first UK and US #1 hit song. That song meets a command used by a famous cartoon inspector whenever he wants to extend his upper limbs. So take Wham's first UK and US #1 hit song and smash that together with the command used by the famous cartoon inspector, and you have the answer for our final question of this Answer Smash round. All right, that concludes round number 5, the Answer Smash round. But don't worry, we will give you 90 more seconds to finalize your answers. And after those 90 seconds, I'll be back with the answers and we'll move on to round number 6. And that's it. Welcome back. Hopefully you found your final answers. Before I go into them, thanks to everyone who's given the great comments and kind words in the chat. It's a lot of fun to be here, and I hope you're enjoying it just as much as I am. But with that, that means we need to go into the answer. So if you're in a local competition somewhere, this is the time to switch your answer sheets. Otherwise, if you're at home, time to grab that red pen because the answers start now. For question number 1, we asked you the name of the famous Roman general and to smash that with the green salad. And we had first the Roman general was Julius Caesar, and the salad of romaine lettuce was a Caesar salad, so we have Julius Caesar salad for 1 point. Question number 2, we asked you the name of the third heaviest of the African big 5 animals, and that was the Cape of buffalo. And we asked for the stage name of William Cody, and that is Buffalo Bill. So your answer smash was Cape Buffalo Bill. Also, we would accept the African buffalo because that's another name that it can be called. So Cape Buffalo Bill or African Buffalo Bill for 1 point. Question number 3, we had the former professional boxer nicknamed Iron Mike, which his name was Mike Tyson. And we said to smash that with the boxer nicknamed the Gypsy King, and that was Tyson Fury. So we had Mike Tyson Fury for answer 3. On to question number 4. We asked you the nickname of the German general. That was Desert Fox. And we also asked you for the name of the American conservative cable news television channel, and that was Fox News, which gave us Desert Fox News for 1 point. Question number 5, we asked you how the laugh of Santa Claus is written out in many languages, and that is ho, ho, ho. And we had the city formerly and still known as Saigon as Ho Chi Minh City, which gives us the answer smash of ho, 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 Chi Minh City. Question number 6. We were looking for the 1983 platform game, and that was the Mario Brothers. And we were looking for the 19th century German duo, which was the Brothers Grimm, which gives us the answer smash of Mario Brothers Grimm. Question 7. We had the name of the best-selling Bon Jovi album from 1986 was Slippery When Wets. And we had the name of the Scottish band with that worldwide hit that was Wet, Wet, Wets, which means we have Slippery When Wets, Wets, Wets. Something interesting to know that Love Is All Around topped the British charts for 15 weeks, and people were so fed up with that song, actually, that the radio stations banned it. It even went so far that the band eventually deleted the record from the sale. Something good to remember, you never know, Yulinka may throw that into a quiz somewhere down the road. On to question number 8. We had the only female rapper to achieve the Diamond Certified Song, that was Cardi B, and the second rarest of the 8 blood types, that was B negative. So we had Cardi B negative, probably my favorite of all of the answer smashes so far. That's great, I love it. Question number 9, we had the name of the island in the Irish Sea, that was the Isle of Man, and the 1999 song by Shania Twain, that was Man, I Feel Like a Woman, which gives us the Isle of Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Dun, 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 dun. Never mind. Question number 10. We had Wham's first UK and US #1 hit song, that was Wake Me Up Before You Go Go, and the command used by the famous cartoon inspector was Go Go Gadget Arms, which gives us the answer smash of Wake Me Up Before You Go Go Gadget Arms. That one was a viewer submission courtesy of Steph from Team Enchance Patate, so thank you very much for those. If you think of any other ones, feel free to send them in. We love to use the submissions from the people. So that does it for the answers around number 5. We had a max score of 10 points. I'll give you a few moments to finalize your score. Do let us know how you did in the chat. We'd love to see that. Once I come back, we'll move on to round number 6, the music round. And we're back. I'm seeing some good results, 8.5, 10, 9.5, another 9, another 8.5. So good to see that everyone enjoyed this round, doing quite well. But that means now we move on to round number 6. And of course, we have a theme behind this one. So round number 6, music has to do with movies. So this week's round is all about songs that were made famous by being featured in a movie or on the soundtrack of a famous film. So we're not looking for the names of the song artist or the titles of the song. Your task this evening is to just give us the name of the movie that can be linked to each of those songs. Now, to help you out a little bit, we give a screenshot of the film to kind of give you a little hint. But you're only going to hear each song once, and after you hear the song, we'll give you a few moments to kind of debate, and then the quiz will go on automatically to the next song. So you won't hear me in between, you just get to sit back and listen to the songs and debate the answers. So I hope you enjoy, and I will see you on the other end.
May it be when darkness falls, your heart will be true. You walk a lonely road.
inside and out and love strange, so real in the dark. Think of the tender things that we were working on. Slow change may pull us apart. When a light gets into your heart, baby.
Means what you think you saw, you did not see. So don't blink, be what was dead is now gone. Black suit with the black Ray-Bans on. Walk in shadow, move in silence. Guard against extraterrestrial violence. But yo, we ain't on no government list. We straight don't exist, no names and no fingerprints. Saw something strange, watch your back, cause you never quite know where the MIB.
My darling, I've hungered for your touch a long, lonely time.
And when his daddy would visit, he'd come along. When they gathered around and started talking, Cousin Billy would take me walking. Out through the backyard we go walking. Then he looked into my eyes. Lord knows to my surprise, the only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher.
Will you still love me when I got nothing but my aching soul? I know you will, I know you will, I know that you will. Will you still love me when I'm no longer beautiful?
And we're back. That was the 10 questions for the music round. So now is time for the answers. But first, if you're in a local competition, now is the time to switch your answer sheets. And if you're at home, again, now is the time for the famous red pen to come out. Let's see how you did for the answers for round number 10. Question number 1, the song you heard was Enya, May It Be, and that was from the film Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring for 1 point. Question number 2, we heard Bryan Adams, Everything I Do It For You, and that was Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves for another point. Question number 3, we had The Simple Minds, but Don't You Forget About Me, and that was from The Breakfast Club. Another point if you got that one correct. Question number 4, we heard Will Smith with Men in Black, and that was from the film of the same name, Men in Black, for another point. Question number 5, we had Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers, and that was from Ghost for another point. Question number 6, we had Dusty Springfield with Son of a Preacher Man, and that was made famous by Pulp Fiction, so another point there if you got that one correct. Question number 7, we had Lana Del Rey with Young and Beautiful, and that was from the film The Great Gatsby, so for another point. Question number 8, we had Roy Orbison, Oh Pretty Woman, again with this film of the same name, Pretty Woman, for 1 point. And question number 9, we had The Underworld with Born Slippy, and that was from the film Trainspotting, so give yourself a point if you got that one correct. And finally, question number 10, we had No Time to Die by Billie Eilish, again of the film of the same name, No Time to Die. So, with that, that gives us the end of the quiz. Let us know how you did in the chat, how many answers you had, how many were correct in that final round. And before we say goodbye, I think it's time to bring Yulinka back in to the chat. So I will scoot over, allowing her
do my best to very elegantly scoot back in here. I'm doing a terrible job of that.
It worked. It's good.
Wow, George, knocked it out of the park, man.
Thank you. It was fun.
Yeah, was it fun?
It was a good time.
You looked like you were having fun, and we had some really, really lovely comments on the chat, all of which were perfectly justified. You did a great job.
Thank you.
The only thing I'm concerned about now is they may not want me back.
No, that'll never happen. I do know that I need to buy a few more of these sweaters. It seemed quite...
Yeah, that sweater was a popular one for sure. Hey, George, do remind our participants how many points could they have earned today?
Yeah, this evening you could have the max of 65 points. So let us know in the chat how many you got out of 65. We always love to see it.
We certainly do, and please don't forget to also let us know, make it official through the link. That QR code is going to go back up on screen after we leave you in a moment, and you know that allows you to do several things. Most importantly, submit your score. Make it official. Make sure we can include you in that global ranking. Next quiz is going to be on November 20th. So you can already mark your calendar for that one in exactly 2 weeks from now. That is coming your way. So when we show you that QR code, scan it, go to the link, you know the drill by now, and make it official. And also, if you haven't made a contribution yet and you are able to, that would be very much appreciated. This helps us cover some of the cost, at least, of all of the love and hard work that goes into making you a fresh quiz every 2 weeks. So please consider that if you want many more of them. We would love to make many more quizzes for you in the future. Let us know in the comments section how you got on. Also, when you submit those scores, there's a little comment section there. You can make any suggestions for questions, for topics, for a round you would like to see included, any topics you would like more or less of in the quiz, answer smash suggestions, because the best ones usually come from our participants. So those are also very much appreciated. That's it from us, I think.
Yeah, so from the studio here in Eindhoven, it's time to say goodbye. But before we do that, we need to give a great big thanks to everyone in the studio. Behind the scenes, we had Katty, who is doing the WhatsApp channel. We have Hito, who was moderating the chat, of course, with the photobomb. We have the other Hito, who was making sure you saw and heard everything you were supposed to hear. We also have Amanda in the background. And of course, Yulinka, again, thank you very much for allowing me to share the stage with you this evening.
Oh my goodness, are you joking? Thank you for being here, George. I can rest so much easier now that I know that we have such an amazing replacement in place. So next time I fall off a Dutch cliff,
I'll be here.
or maybe want to go on holiday, you will be here. You've got their back. So isn't that lovely to know? Guys, I hope you had a great time. Do share your thoughts with us on the chat. And with that, you know the drill. The time has come to leave you now. Thank you so much for joining us. Wherever you are in the world, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. And till we meet again. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
to say, you should hear it. Oh, I'm happy to make time for your feelings, but you have to admit I already do. Let's just break it down to you and me uptown, dancing all around till the disco ball pops. But I have to be me, and everyone can see your anger is misplaced. And I'm gonna tell ya, don't hate me 'cause I get attention. Don't turn me into what I'm not. I have to be me 24/7, and I ain't never gonna stop. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, no, no, no. No, oh, oh, oh. And I ain't never gonna stop. Come on. Listen to me. I've tried so many times to tell you this is as good as I can be. Why isn't it enough to be faithful and also be the hit of the party? Let's just break it down to you and me uptown, dancing all around till the disco ball pops. But I have to be me, and everyone can see your anger is misplaced. And I'm gonna tell you, don't hate me 'cause I get attention. Don't turn me into what I'm not. I have to be me 24/7, and I ain't never gonna stop. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Never gonna stop.